Hola estudiantes, hoy es viernes, el 28 de junio. Vamos a ver qué tenemos para hoy. Voy a entrar aquí en Canvas y vemos primero que tenemos una actividad pendiente. Este es un video. Vamos a conocernos. So remember, you've got a introductory video coming up, which you will make yourself. 2 parts, 70 points for the video, 30 points for response to peers. And the video is due by midnight, Monday, the 1st of July. Here you have all your instructions. Again, I'm just reviewing. And it's very important that once you've posted your video, you come and you look at other people's videos. And you comment on 2 of those videos by the 3rd of July. So you've got a couple of days after the video is due to comment on 2 other students' videos. That's due the 3rd by midnight. In Spanish, everything, of course. This is very important because it's worth 30 points. 15 points per comment. So don't forget to post comments to 2 of your favorite videos. And it looks like we've got a couple of people. They've already posted their video. So we've got one up here. Here's the demo that I did. And so now, if you wanted to look at Sebastian's video, hit reply and comment, then that would be one of your comments. Right? So the only other thing I would mention right now is you don't have to go with ScreenPal or Screencast-O-Matic. I had a student reaching out to me asking about that. No, that's if you've never done this kind of thing before. If you're completely new to this and you don't really know what's going on, then you could get this free software, make your video, edit it in ScreenPal. Now you need to get it onto Canvas, so I would put it on YouTube first with your free YouTube account and then copy and paste it. Now, if you have another method for posting this, uploading it to Canvas, that's perfectly fine. Many students will simply record themselves on their telephone, their smartphone, and then they will simply upload it directly to Canvas. If you're not sure how to do that, we do have under modules, tutorial, and here we have a tutorial on ScreenPal. And here we have how to upload a video to Canvas. So you can go directly from your phone and upload it directly to Canvas if you wanted to go that route. So that was the 807. Let's look at the 813. I've got 2 sections this session. And let's give equal time to both. Whoops, assignments. And here we have Vamos a conocernos. Everything the same. And I'm just going down to see if anybody's posted. And the only thing we have is the demo, right? And my demo comment. So today's Friday. You still have the entire weekend to do it. I wouldn't leave it for the very end, though, because you never know. You might wind up with a technical issue. So it's a good idea to get started on this. Pivoting to VHL, we see that we're still in Lección 1, las relaciones personales. And you've been studying vocabulary and contextos. Looked at Flash Cultura for a little bit of Hispanic culture. And you've looked at the present tense. You realize there are regular present tense verbs. There are irregulars, including stem changers. And you've looked at the difference between ser versus estar in grammar point 1.2. You've looked at progressive forms 1.3. And you have a couple of additional grammar points here in the form of nouns and articles and adjectives. So we're getting down to atando cabos, and that's due in a couple of days. And so once you've completed all these activities, and again, remember with the activities, you have an unlimited number of attempts. So there's no reason you shouldn't score high on all these activities except for the true-false. With the true-false, it's a binary choice. You only get one shot. But most of them, you do have an unlimited multiple attempts. So get it wrong the first time, try again until you score 100%. So once you've gone through the activities, you can test yourself with atando cabos. Excuse me, atando cabos. And here you have a prueba de práctica. This is a little bit different too, because this is like a diagnostic test designed to let you know where you need to work a little bit harder in advance of the chapter test, which is coming up. So you don't have multiple attempts on this one. You only get one shot because it's supposed to replicate what the test is going to be like. So you've got, of course, vocabulario, and here they want you to give the opuesto. So you're selecting the word that it gives the opposite meaning. So the opposite of autoritario, of course, would be permisivo, right? So you'll have something similar to that on the actual test. Emparejar, más vocabulario. Elige la palabra que mejor complete cada oración. Okay, I've got a drop down that always makes it easier. Marcela dice que su novio es muy siempre le expresa su amor. So I already have an idea. Before I see the drop down, I just really want to confirm, excuse me, that it is cariñoso, right? Dice que es cariñoso. Why? He always expresses his love. So obviously there's a connection there. So you've got vocabulary, and then you'll be coming down to, eventually, present tense, right? So, decir, poder, dormir, recordar, pedir. You're testing yourself out again. And you're using each verb just one time. And you need to complete these oraciones con la forma correcta de los verbos de la lista. Let's see how it would work. En San Valentín, María siempre lee chocolates a su novio. Okay, so it's St. Valentine's Day, Maria, something chocolates to her boyfriend. So the only one that looks like it might be remotely possible is pedir. But pedir is the infinitive form. It's the so-called neutral form. It's not conjugated. So I need to change it so it agrees with its subject, which in this case is Maria. Maria always asks for chocolates from her boyfriend. So it would be pide. María siempre pide chocolates. María siempre le pide chocolates a su novio. It's a stem changer. That's why the E goes to I for this particular one. All right. So, and here they're saying, very important to understand the instructions. This one, they just want the first person singular of these particular verbs. Okay, so I'm thinking first person in all these cases. All right. So, Juan y yo somos amigos desde hace mucho tiempo. Lo desde que éramos niños. Okay. Juan y yo somos amigos desde hace mucho tiempo. We've been friends for a long time. Lo desde que éramos niños. Oh, so the only possibility, looking at conocer, obedecer, dar, poner, decir, would be conocer, but I need to conjugate it for yo. So, lo conozco desde que éramos niños. And the idea is, John and I have been friends for a long time. I've known him since we were kids. And so that's how that would be translated. But use the present tense, lo conozco. Ser versus estar is another one. So you want ser or estar, depending on the situation, depending on the context. En general, Julio, alegre, pero hoy, okay. So two different situations. So talking about his personality in general, he is a happy-go-lucky guy, full of life. So I would use ser to describe a characteristic that he has, right? So I would say es alegre. He's an upbeat person. He's a happy guy, right? But today, he's out of character. Today is a different situation. So this is different from the norm, temporary situation. Today, he's feeling triste. So I would say está triste. So this is the main difference between ser versus estar. And if you go and you study the functions, you'll see that they don't overlap. Ser for certain conditions and contexts versus estar for others. And now we come to the present progressive. Present progressive, again, is that ando form for the ARs. Andar, andando. Marchar, marchando. Estudiar, estudiando. And for the ERs and the IRs, it's a yendo. So, vivir, estoy viviendo. Comer, estoy comiendo. And not always, but quite often, they appear with the verb estar. Estar works as an auxiliary verb, and that's the one that you have to conjugate. The other form, the progressive, it's always going to be the ando or the yendo form. And watch out, sometimes there are other verbs that can function as the auxiliary, so just be aware of that. So here, I have a list of verbs that I can use. And los niños tenían mucho sueño y ya en el sofá. Okay. Kids were really tired. And now, what are they doing? Okay, comer, dormir. If they're tired, they're doing something on the sofa. The only one that looks possible is dormir, but I have to flip it into the correct form. And if I'm talking about los niños, I want to go with the plural, and I would say están, right? And durmiendo. So it's not dormiendo because this is an IR stem changer. So in this case, it would have to be durmiendo. So this is one of the few irregulars that you do have, and it's están durmiendo. Let's try another one. Los profesores en el restaurante. Well, what do you do in a restaurant? Well, obviously you eat. So you can say los profesores están comiendo. Sí, comiendo en el restaurante. So make sure you conjugate the verb estar for the correct subject. And that gives you a good idea of how you'll do on the actual exam, which is coming up. So I'm just going to take a quick look and see what we have. Make sure it's all booted up. So the lesson test, it looks like it's good to go. So you can take it anytime, and it's due on Monday by midnight. So watch out. Monday the 1st midnight is when it's actually due. You've got a full hour to do it. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time. I would not start this at, say, 11:30 or 11:45 Monday night, because that way you're shortchanging yourself. Take it a little bit early, maybe early Sunday, maybe even Saturday. Make sure you're in a good spot. You're studied up. You've got everything you need to go, everything you need at your disposal to make sure that you do a great job, and nobody's disturbing you, and go for it. And remember, even if you don't do very well, you will be able to drop your lowest test grade at the end of the session. I'm not saying you're not going to do well. I have every confidence in you, but you need to use all of your resources, bring them to bear so that you score well on all of these exams. So I think that's about enough for today. I don't want this video to run too long. Obviously, si tienen preguntas, si tienen problemas, pues pónganse en contacto conmigo. Siempre estoy aquí por y para ustedes. Si no, que tengan feliz día, feliz fin de semana y nos vemos muy pronto. Hasta luego.